Albert King was one of the greatest blues guitar players that ever lived. Huge influence on everybody. Definitely on Jimi Hendrix. You can hear, I mean, everyone, even Otis Rush, even a bunch of guys of his generation. So when I was first coming up, I had an opportunity to open up for him. I've actually got two stories. So this is a good one. This one was a fun-filled night. Albert King was 6'6", about as dark-skinned as you could possibly be, carried a gun, and had a Mississippi Sheriff's badge on his chest. And it was real. He was an ordained sheriff from Mississippi. And so, you know, and he was famous for being mean, like really mean. Like I would go see Albert King and he'd take all the microphones off of the drums and be like, get all the goddamn microphones off the drums. And so the drummer would be playing, there'd be like 3,000 people and the drums had no mics. And he was just, and the band was terrified of him. And you could see them cowered in the corner because he was this gigantic man. Okay, so two stories. So the first night I open up for him, we're outside, it's in Houston, Texas, a place called Black Forest Gardens, Black Forest something. And I'm playing, and the Houston cops came because someone had a noise complaint. And the Houston cops are famous for being really brutal. It's kind of like LA cops, they're really macho, mean, big city cops, like to beat people up. And so they go up to the soundboard and they tell the sound man, tell that guy to turn down, he's playing too loud. But they don't understand that the sound man, for some reason I think they thought that the sound man could like shock me or something and tell me that I was playing too loud, and I'm in the middle of an extended solo, like just woo, woo, you know, my eyes are closed, I have no idea what's going on. So as I'm playing, the cops are getting more and more angry, thinking that I'm ignoring them, God forbid, you know, and that pisses the cops off, right? When they think you're not listening to them, right? So I'm going on and on and on, and all of a sudden, I open my eyes because someone's pulling my arm, and it's the cops, and they're arresting me. And I had no idea there were even cops there. So I'm in the middle of this solo, and all of a sudden I'm being handcuffed. So they're about to take me to jail, and Albert King walks on stage with his Mississippi Sheriff's badge. Let the boy go. Seriously. And they let me go. So that's the first story. Here's the second story. This is the one that if you're a guitar player, you're really going to appreciate. You will appreciate this, Jason. So Albert King had one of the greatest guitar tones in the world in the 60s. They called it the woman tone, and Clapton took it, everybody, real soulful. For some reason, he decided in the late 70s that he was going to start playing Roland JCM 120s, which is a solid state amp. It's not a very good blues amp, let me just put it that way. It's real clean, it doesn't have a lot of mojo. And so you go see Albert King, and you know, no one's going to tell Albert King how to play, because he's Albert King. He's earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants to do, you know what I mean? But, as a fan of his guitar tone, you kind of always go, God, I wish I could have seen him in the 60s when he was playing through the Ampex. And everybody would say that. And you know, it was cool because you got to hear him. And so anyhow, shows up the second night after almost getting arrested, and his amp's broken. Ah, damn, my amp, motherfucker, what a fucker. Mr. King, I have an amp. Would you like to play my amp? What kind of amp you got, boy? It's a Super Reverb. You know, and he's like, he's totally not happy, but he's yelling at me, I'm giving him an amp, he's mad at me. But he plays the amp, and the second day we're inside because of the noise complaints, so we had to play inside. And I swear to God, it was the best guitar tone Albert King had in 25 years. Because it was this tube amp, he turned it up and it had that sound. And I'm sitting there just like crying during the set, like I brought it back to the light. I brought it back to like everybody around me's going, what the hell? Albert King sounds so good. I'm like, it's my amp. I know it's my amp. Everybody in the crowd were all, there's like 20 people standing around like drinking and congratulating ourselves. And I'm so psyched, and I go back to the backstage after the show and I say, Mr. King, that was a really, really great set. And he goes, yeah, the set was good. That amp was a piece of shit.